Let's have a look at BNP's point of view in all this. Their head of equity research for the Asia Pacific is Manishi Raychaudhuri, and he's with me now. Manishi, what are you making of the Fed? It's the policy statement afterwards. It would be quite something if they came up with a surprise, though, wouldn't it?
Right. As far as the decision is concerned on 2nd May, we don't think they would tinker around with the rates in this particular meeting, even though we think that the statement would remain pretty much in line with what they have been saying, cautioning about rising inflation. And therefore, we continue to believe that there would be 3 more rate hikes in 2018 and possibly 1 more in 2019 before the Fed stops.
That would suggest, then, that they would see economic weakness, and perhaps markets are pricing in economic weakness at that point.
If you look at the most recent movement in the asset markets, it would possibly suggest so. However, there are conflicting news flow, conflicting indicators in this regard. For example, if you look at the consumer confidence indices across the world, or most of the PMI that are coming out, particularly from this region. The Chinese PMI yesterday is possibly a best case
today,
point.
Of course,
and
we have the Taishin, which was
that's right.
Pretty much better than the official one.
Absolutely. So there is, kind of mixed data point on this. And therefore, I think as far as investors are concerned, they would rather focus on, selectively on that part of the economy which is doing well, which essentially brings us to the consumer discretionaries and the general consumption sentiment in general.
Okay, so you're talking value propositions.
I would say that look at consumer discretionaries, and within them, particularly those which are cash generators and excess return generators. These are the 2 points which are the kind of holy grail of our investment philosophy. We try to identify companies which are cash generators, excess return generators, and which have a strong balance sheet. I must also point out that possibly it's underappreciated that there's still a lot of leverage.
I was going to say there's one company which fits the bill there, and that's certainly reported earlier, it's Apple. It ticked all those boxes you just came up with, Manishi.
At the same time, we are currently seeing a weakness in higher-priced smartphone demand. And that is why, in our most recent reshuffling of the Asian model portfolio, we moved slightly away from the smartphone supply chain and moved more into both consumer discretionaries and more into materials. Because that's the latter area, materials, is where we are seeing pricing discipline, we are seeing government policy action, which is supporting the robustness in material prices.